Go.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Garden of the Spirit, a class studying apples for the orchard for the second time, beginning after Pesach of 2014. This class meets in Long Meadow, Massachusetts, the center of the universe, and is held in memory of Malka Ruth Bas Moshe Margaret Vogel of blessed memory. Apples from the Orchard contains selections of teachings of Kabbalah from the Arizal, by Yitzhak Luria, based on the weekly Torah portion, superbly translated and explained by Rabbi Moshe Wisniewski. All right. Today, 519. Oh, Alan, why don't you start?
Vayikra, bringing the kingdoms to the king. When one among you offers a sacrifice to Hashem. The word Kabbalah means in Hebrew parallel or correspondence. By paralleling the different structures and elements that inhere within creation, Kabbalah demonstrates its underlying unity and how all creation reflects and expresses the same divine powers that created. In the following exposition, we will encounter a quick succession the main conceptual structures that correspond to the four letters of the divine name Havaya, which expresses the basic patterns of divine creative energy that sustains and informs all levels of reality.
I have defined Kabbalah as the Torah's version of how Hashem created the world, or the connection between Hashem and the world, which is another way of saying the same thing. Did I ever tell you that? Yeah. Did I ever tell you that on January 31st of 2006, I had a flight back from LA to here. Stop over in Dallas. We left. We took off from LA 12 or 1 a.m. and landed in Dallas, and I had like a 3-hour stop, 3-hour stopover. We landed in Dallas, I'm gonna say 4 or 4:30 a.m. and it's the middle of the night. I say, okay, you're very tired on these red eyes, and okay, I'm gonna get some sleep. And the Dallas airport was pretty empty. There's a guy in a suit walking around at 5 a.m. and he walks by this way, then he walks by that way, and then he comes over and stops by me and says, by now it's not January 31st anymore, it's February. It's February 1st, Wednesday. And he stops, says, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Can you tell me what's Kabbalah?" Okay. So he sat down next to me, and there went my nap between flights. And so we talked about the next hour and a half. Not Jewish guy. So in one sentence, the Kabbalah is how Hashem created the world, or the connection between Hashem and the world. There is a 4-stage process called Seder Hishtalshelus, or process of creation, where at every stage, Hashem's light is more concealed. Every stage lower, Hashem's light is more concealed, allowing for a physical world to exist at the end of the process. Our job is to elevate the world by making connections to the infinite light, which I often call in these classes divine energy. This chapter will draw parallels between the 4-letter name of Hashem, the 4-stage process of creation, the 4 groups of spheres within Atzilus known as Partsufim, the first of the 4 stages, and 5 levels of the soul. A primary way to serve Hashem is with offerings in the Beis Hamikdash. This elevates the world and makes connections with the infinite light. Okay, go ahead first.
Concerning the commandment of the sacrifices. After the Torah discusses the construction of the tabernacle in Parshas Teruma, Tetzaveh, Tisa, Vayakel, and Pekudei, it begins to discuss the ritual of the sacrifices that are offered in the tabernacle. This is the subject of Parshas Vayikra.
Okay. Hashem's name and the partsufim. Going to the keep using the arrow down. There you go. Let's see. Hashem's name and the partsufim. The 4 letters of Hashem's name correspond to the force of creation. The point at the upper, actually, and it comes out 5. The point at the upper left corner of the Yud, it corresponds to Arich Anpin, the lower part of Keser. The Yud corresponds to Abba, the first Hey to Ima, the Vav to Zerampin, and the second Hey to Nukva. So Partsuf is another way to look at the 10 spheras. Instead of dividing them by spheras, it divides them into 4 partsufim. I think translates as profiles, and it's for all practical purposes, it's the same idea. Go ahead.
As is known, the divine name Havaya alludes to the 5 principal partsufim of the world of Atzilus as follows. The upper thorn of the Yud corresponds to Arachanpin, the Yud to Abba, the Hey to Ima, and the Vav to Zeranpin, and the final Hey to the Nukva of Zeranpin.
Number 5.
You don't want to read.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Which is, the chart says,
Read across.
Keser is for Atik Yomim, the Ancient of Days, or Arach Anpin, the long face, which is the upper thorn of the Yud. Chachma is Abba, father, the Yud. Bina, Ima, mother, Hey. Chesed, Gevur, Teferes, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod are Zer Anpin, the small face, Vav, and Malchus is Nukva, the female of Zer Anpin, which is a Hey. Atik Yomin is not alluded to explicitly in the name Havaya, since it is considered the inner dimension of the outer parts of Keser, Arachanpin.
So the higher level of Keser, called Atik is not mentioned here. 5. The partsufim and 5 realms in the physical world. In Kabbalah terms, the 5 realms are known as number 1, silent, 2, growth, 3, living creatures, 4, speaker, and 5, soul. The neshama, the divine soul, corresponds to Keser. And this is similar, we'll see, to the 3 kingdoms. The
I'm losing sound. No sound. Sound is gone. No sound. Yeah.